This is me, and 3 months ago, I decided to change myself. My aim was to change my bad diet habits and training regime so that it could reflect the way I really wanted to look. You see, I've always had an unhealthy obsession with food. Pizza, chips, cookies, burgers, you name it, I've had it. And even though I've always been involved in sport, it's never been enough to be happy with my own body. So I did what any other person in my situation would do. I researched. Once I felt my knowledge was sufficient, I created a plan of action. Diet. Diet is the most important aspect of fitness, and the rule of thumb is to eat about a gram of protein per pound of body weight, which is even more important when dropping body fat. So I started eating lean meats such as chicken breast, lean turkey mince, kebabs, whey protein, and creatine. I focused on slow releasing carbs like rice and oats to give me energy throughout the day whilst being in a caloric deficit. Workout and sleep. So these are also very, very important for any fitness journey. So I started training 6 days a week, and I hit every single body part twice a week, and I gave it my all for every single session. The sleep aspect, that comes naturally to me. I love sleep. Who doesn't? And as the weeks went by, I felt stronger, faster, and visibly fitter and healthier. So as you can tell, my body fat has fallen tremendously, and I'm currently at 16.5%. So you can actually see my abs coming through, and you can see that I've got a little bit of shape to my muscles, and I'm even getting a little bit more vascular, as you can tell. And there was even a little quad action through the joggers. Before we get on to the third and final step, I want to talk about the specifics of how I actually achieved this transformation. I'll go into how my workout split and my diet actually looked throughout the weeks. So as I said, I typically work out 6 days a week with occasionally a couple of days off here and there. And what I do is I have a chest and back day, I have a shoulders and arms day, and I have a leg day. And I typically hit all of these twice a week. And I most of the time do the same exercises. Now I know you hear a lot of fitness gurus saying things like, you have to do different exercise to promote growth, you have to stun the muscle and things like that. But for me, what I've done is, as long as I'm seeing progression, I will keep the exercises the same, and I have done up until now. I only have slight variations between the two workouts. Otherwise, I do typically do the same workouts Monday to Saturday. Everything the exact same. I might change the rep ranges, I might do a slight variation, but I always do the same exercises. And the reason for that is it allows me to track whether I'm progressing. So if I'm doing an incline dumbbell press and I did 24 kilos for 10 reps the first week, and then, the first session, if 4 days later on the second session I hit the same weight and I do it for 11 reps, then obviously that's progression. And if I'm seeing progression, why would I change the exercise? People are a bit too fast to change the exercises they're doing because they want to stun the muscle, but it's really not needed if you're seeing a difference in your size, if that's what you're after, if you're seeing a difference in your body fat, if that's what you're after. If you're seeing progress, then there's not really any need to change anything. The only time I believe you should change things is when you're plateauing, when your gains aren't coming as they should, when you're not losing the body fat you want, when your strength gains or hypertrophy gains aren't really there. So when I go to the gym, there's always a time constraint for me because I work and I do other things alongside that. So what I do is I superset every single one of my exercises. So when I'm doing chest, I'll typically start with an incline dumbbell press, and I'll superset that with some dumbbell rows. And then I'll go maybe onto the pec deck, and I will superset that with some seated machine rows. And then what I'll do is I'll do that with some press-ups, I'll do some wide pull-ups, and I'll superset that with some dips. And then I will do some flies, and I'll superset that with some barbell rows. For my shoulder day, I either do military press or I do seated dumbbell press. And then I move on to some side laterals, and I superset that with some rear delt raises. And then I do front delt raises, and I superset that with some shrugs. What I've started doing recently as well, on top of that, I do kind of a mini second workout where I superset a different variation of side delts, front delts, rear delts, and shrugs, kind of a circuit, just to really get the muscles working, get the blood in there. For arms, I would usually do a cable dumbbell curl, and I'll superset that with some tricep extensions. I'll do some alternating dumbbell curls with some tricep kickbacks. For legs, I always start with squats, and I do deadlifts once a week after my squats. So on one of the leg days, it's just a full leg day, and the other one is a full leg day with some deadlifts. So for this day, it's usually squats to begin with, and then it goes on to deadlifts, leg press, and I do some leg curls, do some leg extensions, and I do some calf races. And I usually do cardio 3 times a week. I either do about 15 minutes of HIIT cardio, or I just do some skipping for about 20 to 25 minutes. Skipping is actually one of the most effective kind of cardiovascular exercises for burning calories. So yeah, I try and get 25 minutes or so, and I lose anywhere between 400 and 500 calories, which is actually fantastic. With this workout split, I've managed to see some kind of pretty crazy gains. I mean, I started off at over 80 kilos, and I'm now more or less 70 kilos. So I've lost over 10 kilograms, and yet my squat has actually gone up by 10 kilos. My bench has gone up by maybe 5 kilos or so. My dumbbell press for shoulders has gone up, so my lifts are going up, which is fantastic. So for me, this workout regime has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm losing body fat, I'm increasing strength, my energy levels are great, and that is all to do with my workout split, my routine, and my diet. I mean, diet plays an important role in how you're feeling throughout the day. And obviously, you know, sleep, as I mentioned earlier, sleep is massively underrated. You do need to be getting between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a day. Otherwise, you wake up feeling groggy. You're not going to lift as much. And just generally, you don't have enough time. Your body doesn't have enough time to kind of build the muscles. Protein synthesis just isn't really there when you're not getting the sleep in. Consistency. Like with anything, the more you practice or the more you do something, the better you become. So for instance, if you want to improve your handwriting, the more you write, the more you perfect the handwriting craft, the better your handwriting becomes. This is the same with lifting. The more consistent you are with lifting, the better your lifts get, depending on whether you're bulking or you're shredding. The more consistent you are with the diet, as well as obviously the lifting, the better your physique looks, things like that. But yeah, that's about it. These are my tips. This is the way I went about losing this body fat. This is the way I went about my training regime, my diet, my sleeping. This is absolutely everything I did. I've been a little bit, speaking of consistency, I've been a little bit inconsistent for the last couple of weeks, but the main thing is, if you ever fall off, it's okay to fall off. You just have to get back on it. That's the thing. So yeah, those are my top tips, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked my transformation as well. I worked really hard. It's taken quite a lot of willpower for me to diet. That's the toughest thing for me, is diets. Yeah, solid stuff. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to share it, I mean, you can. You don't have to, but you can, share it for good luck, I mean, you can. But yeah, guys, have a great evening, have a great day, have a great morning wherever you are. As you can tell, it's very sunny here, but look after yourselves, guys. Speak to you soon.